The webinar is live. Let's go live on Facebook.
We have 4 attendees. I don't know, can they hear us now or
Yes,
not?
I think they can.
Hi, guys. Thank you for
Hello.
joining in such a big number. Wow, look at this. This is even a bigger start than we used to have them on page ground.
That's nice.
Hey, guys. Hi, Kiran. Hi. Good to see you all. Sorry if we are a bit confused. We're just our first independent thingy we're doing over Zoom and pushing to Facebook. So we need a couple of minutes to tweak it a bit. Servus, Thomas. Thanks. I know we posted this link for questions, on our Feedbear app, but of course you can also add questions here for Q&A. The idea with the link was for everybody. Perhaps somebody could not make it, so that we try to answer all the questions. So you can also see that ask questions here in Q&A that we don't have on this page where questions and answers.
Yeah, and we are live on Facebook now.
We are.
Yeah, we are. I think we are.
Let me just quickly check.
At least it looks like this.
Well, what page? SynSpider, right?
Yeah, the group.
The group.
Yeah, we went live in the group. And it's already working. Hey, Onassis. Nice, yeah. Nice that you joined us. Great to be here. Achim, hey.
Oh, yes, we are live in the group. This is awesome.
This is awesome. Let's wait a minute. I hope everybody's fine. The weather here in Austria is really rainy, shitty rainy weather.
Your presentation is not, I can see your browser and everything, Norbert.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I can make a trick. I hope so, at least. Ta-da!
Cool.
Yeah.
Just bear with us, guys, for a couple of more minutes. Just I think a few more people will join. We had a lot of signups, which was great.
Yeah. So, hey, Alex, Andrew, Chase, Clifton, wow, Edwin, Henrik, Jarek, Kieran, Mark, Matthias, Peter, Phil, Pranesh, Radosh, hey, Rickard, Sam, Steve, Thomas, William. Wow, a lot of people here already. Ah, that's cool. I think we should do more webinars.
Yeah, perhaps once per 2 weeks, if the timing allows.
Yeah, this would be great, actually.
I already see one question. I want to use Tripecart. Yes, we already have an integration with Tripecart, I think.
Yeah, Active Campaign. Anyway, we have.
Do we have Slack? We don't have. Okay, I'm gonna check all these questions later. Perhaps you can start with the presentation.
Yeah, I would start. Yeah, we are 21 people now, and I think a few others would join. We had much more signups, so we will see. And of course, this one is gonna record it. Yeah, it's recorded. That's nice. So we can go. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SynSpider Universal E-commerce and Web App Middleware webinar.
Yes, Zoom will kill us. We don't hear the sound.
Yeah.
You should have heard the sound now, guys. But sorry for.
Yeah, so work it harder, sync it better, ship it faster, sell it stronger. This is our new, let's say, claim. This is what we are aiming for and working for. It's all for you. And we want to really make things work better so that you can sync it better, you can ship it faster, you can sell things stronger. And of course, you see that it is a lot buzzwords related to e-commerce. Today's agenda, and I will explain you later why it is like this. We will discuss our target audience at SyncSpider and why we chosen to target this audience. Mostly, we will show the latest improvements, the external API, which is very, very important, and you will see why. And of course, what's next at SyncSpider. We will go live and do a walkthrough. So we will show you how easily you really can set up an integration. We heard a lot of people that this is a hard way because it looks different than others do. We will show you why this is not the case, or why you should not think about that, because it's just another way, and we will really live demo how easy it is in real. Of course, we will also discuss something like new UI UX and something like that. And we will come to the steps then. And of course, we will do a Q&A, so you can ask us anything. We try to make all these questions answered for you today during the webinar. So just post your questions on Facebook and also on the chat in Zoom. If you're in Zoom meeting, then post your questions. We will collect them, especially Alex will do that. And he will throw the questions to me later on, okay? So, first point of the agenda today, the target audience, and to understand the target audience, because we claim that we are an e-commerce and web application middleware. This is what we are, and this is what we live for. And we had some asks on the Facebook group why we don't target the app market. It's so huge, and we need to lower our prices to be there and to be competitive. Well, guys, the thing is, we don't want to be competitive. So we don't want to be in the same water as the other tool providers are. So we don't fight for the same customers. There is a nice story about the red ocean and the blue ocean. The red ocean is the ocean where all the fight is happening for the same ships, for the same area. And with choosing the target of e-commerce, we are slightly shipping out of this red ocean into a blue ocean. There is not so much fight against for customers, because we are really the only one that is covering e-commerce as a middleware, as a synchronization engine. And to understand why this target, and this doesn't mean anything for you as web application users, because we cover web applications the same way as e-commerce. And I just want to give you a quick insight why this target audience is so important for SyncSpider. The e-commerce is growing massively still. 5 trillion projected annual global e-commerce sales by 2021. You see that that shape here going up massively, and this is really a target that is a very, very huge and unestablished market, especially when it comes to synchronization. 18% growth of retail e-commerce sales from 2018 to 2019, 22% projected percentage of the global retail sales will be generated in e-commerce by 2023. 22% of the global retail sales. So there's a lot of things going on, and you see here that still small businesses aren't keeping up. When it comes to e-commerce, a lot of SMBs don't even know how to start. They think it is too complex, and they don't have the time or resources to explore or manage new channels. And this is the buzzword here, new channels. The problem of an e-commerce outlet is that they have maybe a store, maybe a POS system, maybe they don't have a store and just a POS and they want to go online. And the problem is that when they go online, they need to manage everything. They manage products, they manage orders, and they need to go on marketplaces, having pricing feeds filled, having an online CRM or marketing tool like MailChimp or what else. And they do not know how to start and where to start. And to bring the data that they have into other systems is exactly what SyncSpider is doing. And not only for e-commerce. And this is the main thing here, because there are already e-commerce middleware tools outside that bring your data from a web shop to a marketplace. But there are no tools that can cover all the e-commerce outlets and even the local POS system that is mostly hosted on a Windows machine. And all these web applications that they need for marketing, like forms into a newsletter software, orders combined to newsletter contacts. And this is what we are solving, because 85% of all consumers want an integrated experience across online and in-person retail channels. And only 26%, only 26 of small businesses are selling online. So we have a 74% new market coming up here on e-commerce, because we believe that if you don't sell online, you or your business go offline in a few years. So this market is really, really big, and it's blue ocean. So to cover this, and this is where we come from. We come from e-commerce, you know that, guys. And to cover this, we needed to have a very, very strong and deep integrations into e-commerce. This is the core of SyncSpider. This is where we come from. We not only need to cover the straightaway lines as the others do. So contact comes in, boom, contact goes left, boom, goes right. So A, contact comes in, B, contact is written. We need to cover variants, complex orders, stock in different locations, full loads. So webhook-based apps mainly cover what's happening now. So if a new contact subscribes at a form, this new contact is sent to the tool that you want to. But you don't cover the other contacts, the old contacts. You don't cover the old products, you just cover new products or new orders. You don't cover the old ones. And we needed to give a full coverage and also give the possibility to make full loads. So for an example, with SyncSpider, you can connect your web store and transfer all the contacts that you have in your web store to your MailChimp or to ActiveCampaign or to Automizy. And you can't do that with other tools. This is not possible. And this is the reason why full loads are so important for us. And we need to cover both things. Also migrations. You want to switch from Magento to Shopify? No problem. With SyncSpider, you connect both tools, you set up a full load, and boom, products, customers, orders are in the new system. And you can start there like you never had another store. Of course, you need to set up everything and so on, but this is something that is important in the e-commerce world, and it is important for us to give you that. And it brings you a lot, because our integrations that we build for you, and especially the new way, it's so amazing to show it off later on. Our integrations always follow that methodology, that there is something more that is possible. Building an integration machine is something that we needed, that we really wanted to bring up. We have been very silent about that. We did not want to leak what we are building. I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, we started slightly putting a bit of information outside to you that you see that there is something going on. But we did not want to leak the entire experience and the entire thing, and it really took us several months to build out what we have now. It's also important to know that apps or web apps are needed in e-commerce the same as in marketing. So if our target is e-commerce, it doesn't matter to you because they need the same things. They need MailChimp, they need Automatically, they need Facebook ads, they need Facebook leads, they need CSV files, Google Sheets, they need CRM solutions, Lamlist, whatever. There are so many tools outside, and we need to be fast and quick to build those apps. And we treat the e-com same as marketing or other automation uses. It's really the same for us. It's just that we started in e-commerce and that the core of SyncSparta is built a way that it's much, much deeper than maybe other apps do. And now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and this is the tool, to our external API template engine. Very new, released this week. And it's just the first step, and it's huge. So from now on, we build our own integrations the same way as you can do if you use the external API template engine. We do it itself. It's not needed that we do a long development process, analyze an API, connect to an app. This is not needed anymore. Not for the most common apps and not for the most common processes. There are tools that need more development, that even need plugins, especially in the e-commerce world. Of course, we will continue to cover this as well and to cover the ways. But these typical web applications that we are talking about, these applications will be covered in a quick and short way. Public integrations can be done by anyone. We just need a developer agreement from you. It's an additional agreement at no cost. You can reach out to our chat and ask for that. We will send it to you. You sign it off. For new signups to SyncSparta, it's already included in the terms of service. And you can use the public and make even integrations for yourself. Keep it at your company only, or you can make it even public and share it with the entire world. We go live with an integration with this tool in under 1 hour for really simple integrations. So if it's just a small thing, we can integrate a tool in under 1 hour, and we are not talking about webhooks. And we also offer different authentication methods like auth2, username, password, extending that, of course. And we further extend things that coming in the next few weeks, so that we even are able to set up configuration screens, so that users not only just can enter the API key or the username, password, what they need. We give entire screens for configuration, like incremental import, event handling, date-based from to for synchronizations, and all this kind of stuff that you need in a configuration. I should give you a quick demo later on. And we're gonna do now a quick live with Click Send. And before we do that, just a quick show off. This is what we have done in the last 24 hours. In the last 24 hours, we integrated ClickSend, Automatic, GrowServe, ClearOut, Sendinblue, SendGrid, Asana, and SendFox. And this is mainly has been done by 2 developers. Mainly by 1, because the other developer was bug fixing a few things. But mainly this has been done by 2 developers in 24 hours. And it's working.
It's not 24 hours, it's 8. They don't work 24 hours a day.
Yeah, of course.
but it takes this, what Norbert is saying, it does take, for one integration, it can take, if it's really simple, it can take for 1 hour. But it takes time for a person before that to find exactly what do we need, what entities do we want to include. So it is for an hour to just build it, but we need some preparation. We need to put this machine in an automated way that somebody can find all these entities that we need, the proper documentation from these tools that we can use. Then we can test it, can we build it? And then only then the developers can quickly develop it. And just so you know, one of the attendees here already tried this. We saw this accidentally today because
Yes.
it was late. And actually it's
It was Jarek, right? Is
yeah,
it right? Or Jacob?
yeah,
Jarek or Jacob? I don't
Jarek,
know. Yeah, Jarek. So we were so it was so amazing. Alex and I went through the app because we wanted to see if our integrations are live and so on. And then we saw an integration that we have never seen before. And yeah, and he did it. Okay, congratulations, Jarek. I know you are here in the webinar. You did the first external API integration of a user yourself without any real guide, as far as I remember. So you just sent a few things. And this is really amazing, even for us to see that.
So practically you'll be able to build your own integration, and it's not just to send data. You have also push and pull. So this is quite powerful, but we are going to stick on with, and of course our developers are going to continue to work on some integration for a month, like we were just building Shopper 6 because it's very complex, it's e-com, it's very deep, but this tool, this module will help us satisfy all the other needs. And as you can see, all of this was really done in 8 or 16 hours, something like that. So for 2 days, it's 16 hours.
For 2 days, we worked there. So what we did is done in 1 hour integration. The done in 1 hour integration was click send. So we implemented it by not even knowing anything about the tool. And we implemented it in under 1 hour. And what I want to do now is I would like to show you quickly oops, I need to just so switch back to the regular mode. Hop here to SyncSpider. So what you see here is the list of all integrations. A lot of them are disabled that are used with external API templates, or CSV templates. And this is the click send integration. And before we start with the regular walkthrough for the average user, this is going to be the next 5 minutes or 10 minutes going to be quite a bit tacky, but I want to show you how it is so that you can understand a bit how this goes. And then we go through the walkthrough where we set up a webhook integration and send the data to this new integration we built with ClickSend and send out an SMS. So Alex will create a form, set a webhook to SyncSpider, fill out the form, and send me an SMS. I will show you later on my cell phone. So I'm just opening here the edit mode, and this is what we need to know about an integration. So it's the name, it's a description, what it does. If it is public, so we can also set to my company only, or if you're an agency, you can share the integration with your agency only. So you can build specific integrations that maybe are only needed for yourself or for your customers using this methodology. And it's the external API. We upload an image, and then we have the main setup that we can show an integration to the users. And then we go to the configuration. So what we do need to do in the configuration is, and this screen I do not want to show that here because it's too tacky. We need the API path. We need to have the information about the header, a placeholder for the API key. And then mainly, we just need to go on, and this is what I just will Google, click send API. And there is a developer site typically for every API that there is. And it's the API documentation and the REST API. So a very useful way is, so we have here all the information that is needed. We need the base URL. This is where we post in the screen that I didn't show up. We know how to authenticate, so we know which placeholders that we need. Everything is in such integration pages. And the most important part is that we have samples of payloads. This is a payload. So we know exactly which format that a tool like ClickSend needs that we pass on data. And what we do is you just need to copy the payload and paste it into the content area of the SyncSpider integration builder, the external API. And out of that, we parse it and give you a preview how the JSON will look like. Of course, there are some settings like post, pull, type, exporter data, and we show you all the fields that will be visible later on in the mapping screen. As said, this is something for developers only. The result is what the average SyncSpider user will see, namely a regular integration. And this is what we're gonna show you now with a webhook. And this is why I'm asking you, Alex, please share your screen and give us the show.
Sure. Thank you, Norbert. So just let me find a proper screen. I cannot share while other participant is sharing.
Sorry, that was me.
Give me a second, screen free. Okay, do you see my screen with SyncSpider on? Norbert, my screen with SyncSpider on?
Yeah, absolutely. See everything.
Sure, great. So guys, I already started to build a task here, and I'll be using AIDA forms, but I want to do everything from the beginning for you because I know there was some questions on how to actually work webhooks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add
one moment. Let me start even one step earlier, Alex, for 1 second. What the screen that you see here is nothing else but when you are within SyncSpider and press the Add New Task button. Let me explain a bit about that before we continue here. So SyncSpider is built where in other tools they have different names for it. In SyncSpider we call it a task, and the task is the work from bringing data from software A to software B, C, D, and what else you connect. You can not only connect one tool within a task, you can connect several tools within a task. And the task is what you need to start with. So, Alex, to start the task, all you need to do is to create a new task.
Yes, exactly. And then the next step would be just to select proper integration we need. But since we don't have AIDA forms integrated, I'm gonna integrate it now for you. So we are starting with a webhook and AIDA new webinar.
This is also something maybe when you quickly stick to that screen before we showed off. Alex, can you go back to the?
Okay.
Yeah, quickly. So in the background, in the blurred out background here, you see two sections which state choose from your existing integration and add new integration. So what's the difference? If you ever have integrated a tool with SyncSpider, we prompt this tool in the first section. Choose from your existing integrations. So you need not integrate it again. And below that, we prompt you add new integration, which lists all the integrations that we have. Also the one that I showed you, the ClickSend one, is active as an integration there already. So you can use that already from there. And as soon as Alex has added this webhook, it will also appear in the existing integrations. Very important to know why this process, we have picked this process that you need to integrate first before you proceed with the steps. You know it from other tools that you just pick the tool and proceed to the next step. Goes fast, and smoothly. The problem is, at this point, the tool provider does not know if the integration that you picked is valid. So it leads to frustration when you don't have an API key ready, when you don't have a valid rights to pull something. And this is why we wanted our users that in the first step, when you pick the source and the target, that you need to authenticate already, that we know that this integration will work, and we don't ask you in the next step to authenticate, which a lot of other tools do, that you just use the tools, and then you, before you go to the mapping screen, you need to authenticate. So it's just moving the process from another starting point. And this is for us really the start. We need to know that the integration is valid. Okay, Alex.
Thank you.
Webhooks.
Thank you,
So
Norbert.
Alex has chosen the webhooks.
So I've just chosen the webhook, and we always ask you for the proper URL. So I'm just going to go to my AIDA form and create one quickly. I'm going to.
Alex, you're gone. Sorry, I am not sure if you. Is it me?
I don't know.
No.
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're back.
Good. Okay. Sorry.
Maybe I was gone.
I think it was me. Let's use something simple. Yeah, I can change it.
Let's make an AIDA form.
Yeah. A bit slow, perhaps I should have created it before, but I wanted to show you everything, how it's looking. So I just gonna copy this link, which is gonna be my published link for SceneSpider here, to have just URL. And this is the first part of the webhook. The second part of actually configuring the webhook will be when in the step after we add another target, add the first target. So as a first target, we said we want to use and send to ClickSend.
And actually, this ClickSend integration is the one that I showed you before. So you, as the average user, is exactly that what you will see. The developer, of course, that setups the task is someone that develops it, like in our team, or if you want to develop an integration, you can do that as well. But you, as the average user, you see just that screen. And all we need here is the credentials of Alex. So Alex, we know your password of your AIDA forms now.
You know, this is actually for ClickSend. So to integrate ClickSend, you basically just need your username and your password. I've just added it, but by mistake I added it as a target. Sorry guys, I need to. Okay, this is my source.
Is it really that? Because you have also the Alex.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, today it's everything is running slow. Do you guys have this kind of experience with SceneSpider? Tell us about it in comments. Now we are coming to the part where we want to actually configure this webhook. And this is something that we have just updated a couple of days ago. So we have improved our webhook module. Now you don't have to copy paste twice this URL. You can just copy paste it once. So basically what we are doing now, we need to copy this webhook URL and to put it to our AIDA form. I'm just going to go to a setup here, go to third-party integrations, go to webhooks and add this webhook here and go create. But before I continue, I just want to change this this form a bit. I choose the wrong name, perhaps just this. I don't need this. I'm just gonna, I wanna add a phone number so that you can see how we can send an actual phone number to Norbert, and perhaps email as well. We can add it to some list. And this is it. Let's go now to preview as publish. And here, now, in order to get this data, I actually need to send something to SynSpider so that he can read this. Alex. Let's send it. Now, if I reload here, SynSpider will read this data, and this is what we got. Now, what is the big change here now in this flow with webhooks? We don't ask you now to copy this and again go to here, change the webhook. We have made this more simpler. Once we have read your data, all you need to do is click here, ready for production. This will lock this URL. You want to be able to change it, and now this webhook acts in your AIDA forms as a reader, so it will grab any data that you send to AIDA forms. I think this is quite cool. Now you already know that I previously explained, I don't know who knows it or not, that basically we can read up to 3 depths of field in SynSpider. So I'm going to select all of these data I need as a source. If I look here at my form myself, I see practically I have a name, email, and a phone number, just so that I can later on better understand it. I'm gonna add labels for every of this. So this is gonna be name. This is gonna be email. And finally,
what
we are
we
gonna
get,
have,
so if there is another, there are of course other tools that send you really the labels, like if you would edit on Facebook, for instance, with a webhook for leads or something, and Facebook would, for example, send really the values. This is AIDA form specific, that you are not getting the right thing, because it's just their way of labeling. I think you can rename it already in AIDA forms to change values or not, I'm not sure, but this is what we get from there.
Yeah, exactly. So practically this is it. This is how you build webhooks. I think it's fairly easy, and what we are showing here, we can even add here if you want. I can quickly come back here and we can add another step to the task. Let's see what I have. We can press, for example, add another step here. And from this form, we can also send something as an email, as a text message, something like, thank you, Norbert, for signing up. And here we can add Norbert to my new send list. So I'm just extending this task with another integration with another flow we want to achieve. Moving forward.
And practically, it's always the same. You know it from all the other tools. They work the way down. So what they do is they go down, do you select the app, and next step is underneath, next step is underneath. Our way is just next to each other. So step 1, pick source. Step 2, pick target. Step 3, pick another target if you want. This is optional. Step 3, configure the source. It's always the same. Step 1, source. Step 2, target. Step 3, configure.
Exactly.
And then, and this is currently not available here for webhooks, the next step would be filter. We currently don't support filters for webhooks. We are already working on that. So the filters will be ready very soon, because we will now build the filters as a module, so you can, as a step, define to filter something. And when it's ready, you can also do a filter based on that. And this is just another step for you. But you need to know source, target, config, filter, mapping. And this is where we go now.
Yeah, sure. Continuing to mapping. So as you see SyncSpider has remembered the settings for our webhook. And now the first mapping is for the first target, which is click send. Here I have only added the number, phone number. And as a constant value, I'm going to add something to the body message, something like, great to see you here. Great to see you, sign up. And this will basically be this message that is going to be sent via via ClickSend.
And
Let's now
one
move
step,
next.
did you set the source? I think ClickSend needs the source as PHP, as I remember.
No,
Okay.
it should be good.
It should be good. What you also see here in the mapping screen is we have always, for every single integration, the first thing on top of the mapping is a constant value. It's always there. It doesn't need to be added or what else. A constant value is always there because the constant value is something that you can use if there
and sometimes you have to use it as well.
Yeah.
For example, in this case, because in Moosehead, for example, I have 10 different lists or whatnot. So in this case, I need to use this constant value field so I can select which list to target. And another thing that that I wanted to tell you guys, this red button here we added just represents the must to column. So this is something that you have to fill in order for integration to work. Now,
this is
since I
also,
have,
and this is also the difference. Sorry, Alex, again, the big difference between other tools and SyncSpider here, the mapping screen. So why did we build the mapping screen as we did it? You know, the other tools just have a list, and you click into the list and choose something from search and what else. You can search here on both sides. You can search for fields from the target and fields from the source, which is not possible mostly in other tools because you have all the fields available from the target. And
plus
you need
we
to
have
pick.
custom fields.
Yeah,
We are adding support for custom fields like here, for example.
And we show you all the fields, but you can search for them. So if you want to map a specific field, you just search from the right hand top search, and if you search for something in the source, you search on the source side. So you can narrow down every result from both sides, and you can do the mapping. And this makes it much more easier if you have really long lists to map, because actually in e-commerce you have sometimes 50, 60 attributes to map. And this is huge. If it's just contacts, yeah, well, then it's contacts. It's first name, last name, and maybe an email. Then of course it's more easy for you. But it doesn't matter because the mapping screen gives you all the possibilities, and you can better look at it if you have it just full screen and focus on exactly that. And this is why we've chosen to go with a mapping screen like this.
Yeah, exactly. So where was, sorry guys, so yes, and as you see now here, this is helpful now. We see we have added labels in this webhook module to see where we want to track things. As you see, this is a complex field. We have a type, label, and a value. We always want to pull value because this is something that that we got. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. So for the email, I'm going to map it here, and for the name, sorry, yes.
Yeah, one thing that is also interesting in that case, this webhook, of course, we give you everything. So we give you several levels. And especially if it comes to other systems, if you transfer something from A to B, the other system might also need to know which type of field it is. So is it a number field? Is it a drop down or what else? This is transferred in type. Then the label itself gives you the name. What is it? So is it email? Is it first name? Is it last name? This information is also transferred, and you might also need to write it in your target. And the value is always that what has been filled out. This is just default slang here. So
Exactly.
type, what is it? Label, how is it named in the target system, because you could name it what else, doesn't matter. And the value is always what the user filled out. So if you map something from the webhooks, always use the label. If it is not named, for some webhooks, it's named already, because a webhook is always that what the other tool is sending to us.
Now, as you see that I've stopped with the name, I've just added a fallback value in case that somebody doesn't enter it, because this is not a mandatory field. So then in this case, we'll we'll write there in an email for this person. And okay, moving next, let us finish this task. At the end, what I want to do with this task is also select the trigger. I want it to an event. So every time somebody fills my form, an event is gonna kick out, and we're gonna send an SMS with what we wrote, and an email will be automatically sent by the campaign I already have prepared in Musant, just to save some
This
time.
is also a
Of
difference
course,
to other tools that I want to mention. It's also a difference to other tools that I want to mention, because the other tools typically set up the event in the first step. You need to choose already what you want to do. And at ThinkSpot, it's a combination of what entity you choose in the setup. So let's say you have a tool like a web store, then we have entities like product, customers, orders. For webhooks not, this is just a webhook, so it's no other entity. And then you need to choose already what you want to do. At ThinkSpider, we set up that part at the last step because you can choose several events for that entity. You are not locked to just one. So this is the huge difference, because we can say, let's say again for products, because it's easy, send the product to the target if it's added new, if it's updated, if it's deleted, if it's what else changed. It depends on what the targets, the source system gives us. So we can have, instead of setting up several tasks for different things that you need to do, you have one task and just add different triggers. And to be secure that they really work, if an event gets lost for some reason, don't know, API broken or else, you can always add an additional trigger that is scheduled by time. So you can not only say, do that on the event, but do that as well every hour, do that as well every day, so that we really have a powerful and reliable
we give you as
option.
many options as you want, actually, because look at this here now. I don't want to add any other triggers. This is enough for this showcase, but here you can turn on, okay, I want to use click send, I want to use move send. So you can even if you created a task with a couple of steps, we again give you the option what you want to use in this task. For example, you can reuse this task and just stop some of the services in this task. So practically everything is known, and you already know for task succeeded emails, and of course task fail emails, but I'm going to leave this open again. And now I'm going to finish this task, and I'm going to give you the link, Norbert, so you can fill this. And perhaps I can even give this link to everybody in webinar on Zoom, so you can fill it out.
Just
but
put it into the chat.
yeah, this could be cool. And this is going to show you what the difference, how an API works. For example, as soon as you fill this in, you'll notice that automatically you will get an SMS message. It works in a second. But for Musant, it's going to take you 5 or 10 minutes to get an email. And this is only because of the speed of their API, not SynSpider's, because we always
Alex, did you post the link already? Sorry, in the chat, because it's not in the chat. I just don't see it.
Sorry. Here it is. Sorry, guys.
So sorry, please complete, and I will just fill out the form to
So
get an
basically,
SMS.
this is it. I'm just gonna monitor this task and see the execution history. And let's see your message, Norbert, if you fill it out.
Just filled it out. Yeah. And here you see, here is my SMS. I don't know if you see my cell phone now. Yeah, can you see it, Alex? I don't see myself.
Well, me neither, because I have my screen sharing on, and but I'm guessing that people are seeing it.
Yeah, I think so. So here's my SMS. Everything is gone. And everyone who can fill it out with the phone number properly, you will see that you get an SMS.
And here you'll also see that we have immediately sent. But again, it's not only our API. It's not only us always. This is important to note as well. So this is it. I would like to hear from you in the questions now. If you have any question regarding this webhooks or anything that I can answer you regarding this, I was just showing, perhaps while it's still fresh in the comments, and I'm gonna have to stop sharing.
Problem. I just
because
the screen. Great.
so I can see what's been writing.
Okay, maybe before we go to the Q&A, so we just showed you the webhook part and maybe a few other words regarding webhooks. As said, webhooks are very important, and we also bring you the possibility to create templates, the webhook templates. This is something that we're gonna bring up in the next couple of weeks as well. So the same way that we use the REST APIs, we also give webhooks with explanation, everything you need to know, how to integrate webhooks. And as said, this is for developers, this is for us, and as well, because we will integrate the same way, of course, as developers, third-party developers do. We can onboard quickly new freelancers or developers with specific tools or tool providers. I just give you an example. Today in the morning, I read through the Facebook group and I've seen that Automacy was requested several times, and I know that there's some buzz about Automacy. And I just contacted the founder on Messenger because we have been in touch already. Very nice guy, and it was great that the launch they had and everything. And I said, because what today at 4 p.m. we have a webinar, and I want to show that we have integrated Automacy. He provided me with the link to the API, and boom, Automacy is there today. So I know, Achim, you want to have Flexi, I think, or HubSpot. This needs a bit more improvement on our way to integrate because they have more levels. I will show you later what this is, but we will bring them up really, really soon. So webhook part will also be covered in templates. So what is the roadmap? First of all, we are improving the core of the external API. This is a must for us. This is the most important feature that we ever released, and this one is gonna be improved like hell. We're working on that massively to get the things done. We will bring additional methods of authentication. We found out that some tools need to have a base 64 integration authentication, so we just brought it up, and it's like the ClickSend, they needed that because we need to cover the username and the password with a base 64, and this is just a feature now that is available. If any other tool needs that, we just need to click a check mark and it's there. We bring new types of integration. So not only the REST API with JSON, we will also give you XML, for instance. The same way, just choose the XML. We already covered, let's say, CSV files. So there are tools that allow you to send, to connect via API and send a CSV file with the data, which is processed later on. This is really great. We need it, for instance, for repricer, Excel core repricer. Oh, by the way, I forgot that one. It also was built last week with our new external API. Filters as external module available for external APIs. So we bring you filters. Filters are there already, but they are dedicated to the integration. We have a generic filter soon, so you just pick the filter as a target and it's there. We do a data manipulation module, so you are able to manipulate data on the fly. It's like the filter module, but it's just a thing where you can, let's say, run a search, do a regex replacement, do mathematics formulas, do extract HTML, add HTML, combine fields, interesting for templating something, This is data manipulation, and it will come. Registering webhook events. So what we also can do with the API, a lot of tools allow to register webhook via the API. This is also something that we bring. So when there is an API available that allows registering a webhook, we register by webhook. This is nothing what you need to do manually, because we can do it via API. And we bring up a custom code section for configuration pages, so that developers that are working on integrations, as we did and do, can easily add a page where the user, the end user, the average user later on, just sees fields like enable incremental import, date frame selection, specific things that are needed for configuring an app integration. And of course, and the most important, and this is really soon, we are already nearby finishing that, webhooks will also become templateable. So we can set up a webhook like Alex did here for AIDA forms. We can give the webhook a dedicated name, a description, an image, so a logo. We can give a detailed explanation how the webhook is to be set up, so where you need to go, what you need to click, where you need to paste the webhook, and save it as a template. And then you would not search for webhook anymore, you would search for AIDA forms. We give you that as a native integration. We provide you the exact link that you need to post, with the exact explanation where to do that. And this will be really fine for the average user who doesn't want to think about webhook, yes or not, what should I choose. You just search for the tool and you have it there. We bring you video tutorials, working on that already, tested a few guys. Jovan is really doing a good job. We bring you video tutorials for every single step. We filter for integrations, because we're gonna have a lot of integrations really soon. So we need to bring in categories, tags, knowledge base entries, and especially the filter will be ready as well soon. We are working on the auto mapping AI. So auto mapping AI is really great, actually, because on the mapping screen, you have a button soon that is called auto mapping. And all that we recognize already, that we have seen in the past from other users, that we have programmed our AI for, and that we know from synonyms, best case, first name, last name, sometimes is called first space name, last space name, but there is also synonym first name when it's written together. Sometimes it's just F name or L name. And we know those synonyms, we provide them, and then we can do an auto mapping. So you go on the mapping screen, press auto mapping. If we recognize something, we map it and provide you a pre-mapped screen. We build recipes. So what is already available is cloning of tasks for not all tasks, a lot of tasks, but not all. There are some specific models that are not clonable at the moment. We are improving that. And as soon as this is finished, we will give you recipes. So we can store a task that is already pre-configured, that has the mapping done as a recipe. So you can say, when you choose a tool like AIDA Forms, we have a recipe for send contact to Musen, send contact to MailChimp, send contact to ActiveCampaign, send contact to what else. You just click the button, we set up everything for you, including the mapping, and you are done, ready, set, go. We will give you frequent update webinars. I like the webinar thing. It's fun. For us, it was a lot of stress for the day, because we wanted to finish the external API template. But I think every 2-3 weeks, we will give you an update webinar with the latest news, what we have achieved, which tools we have integrated. We give demos. We ask you. We give you answers to your questions. Just use that webinar and come in. We change now. We always posted what we did on the Facebook group. We posted it on the Facebook page. We posted it on the website in Beamer, within the app. And we give you now also a newsletter. So we send out every, let's say every 2 weeks, something like that. We will send out what we have done in the past 2 weeks, so that you see it in your inbox. You see the new integrations. We try to enrich this newsletter with useful tips and tricks, but please give us some time to learn this with the newsletters. It's not our core business, and we need to improve that, and need to find copywriters as well that help us with the stories, and give you really worthful information what you can do. And there's upcoming the third-party embeds. We're working on a methodology that other tool providers can embed SyncSpider right within their software. We need it for drag dropper, especially because we want to give the experience to our users that they don't need to leave the tool, and we will give them embeds so that a tool provider can easily embed SyncSpider to his software and set up the integrations right from within there. And very important is that we bring up the multi-level of data. So currently we support 2 levels of data, but we have seen a lot, especially when it comes to XML and JSON and so on. There are several more levels, and it makes it a bit more complex, and we're working on that to make it easy for you. But we will bring you multiple levels. So as far as I know, there are rarely tools outside that even cover 2 levels. We bring you much more. So 2 levels means, let's say, variants. 3 levels means multiple shipping addresses or multiple contacts within an order within the address container. So multiple levels will come as well. Very huge improvement.
I don't know if this answers to your question, Jarek. You can type yes or no, because he had question like this already answered it, answered to him, but apparently you're answering the question before even asked.
Yeah, good. And there is one secret power up that I will tell you. This power up will be so huge that it is a game changer for this entire synchronization industry. And we're working on that since, well, when we started, we had the idea to bring that up somewhen. Then we know that we need it. Then we forgot about it because it was too much work that we could not achieve at the status where we were. There were another focuses. And now, as this integration part is ready, and this was one of the most important releases we ever did, if it was not the important release after the initial release of SyncSpider. And this feature will really change the game. And you will see it in probably Q4, hopefully, when we're ready. And yeah, it's huge. So this is the only thing that I can tell you. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is our goal for this quarter. We will bring you 200 plus, and this 10 I released today will be also included into this 200. No, just kidding. We will bring you plus 200 integrations. So what we have now plus 200 new integrations until the end of September. Boom.
And this is going to be awesome. But listen, Norbert, we are talking a lot, and we have so many questions, and the time is running. We haven't still. So I just want to quickly answer to a question relating to webhooks, which was in the chat. I'm not sure who asked now because I'm losing with all this question. Can we use JSON and form? Or you can use both. It's in as a webhook source. I checked. So let me go to Q&A from the Zoom first. Do you have a plan, a ClickUp integration? I've seen Norbert use it too. Yes, we are planning to integrate ClickUp for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those apps that we definitely integrate. They have a super API, and they have the webhooks, so we bring them as anyway. And I need it as well.
We have a plan to integrate CRM.me, Casio, and Shopify. Shopify we are already integrating with.
Yeah.
So you can check this out, and yes, on both. Done. Guest integration demo, please. Guest to customerly. Okay, listen, I'm gonna ask John to do this one as well. So just to customerly, just let me, I'm gonna leave it open so I don't forget it. When mapping constant values from source to destination, fields can create auto-generated like values like password. Have you understood this, Norbert? When
Yes,
mapping,
yes, we currently do not auto-generate the password. It's already a requested feature that is very important for the e-commerce world as well, because we have a lot of migrations. It's easy for WooCommerce, for instance, because if you leave the password empty, then then WordPress generates a password, generates an email that sends a link to the customer, and you need to click and create a password. Some systems do not allow that and require a password as obligation. What we're going to do, and this is part of the manipulation module, as soon as this is live, we will give you also an option to auto-generate something like passwords. We might even extend our constant value and understand that if it's mapped to a password, we might give you an option where we just give generate random string or something like that.
okay. I don't understand the question. So will there be a private, or will there be a rest of us massive more integrations? I'm guessing that the question, yes, we're going to bring more massive integration, not just the simple ones.
We currently have those 200 planned until the end of September. But of course, we will continue like that. So as we grow, we can onboard more people that provide integration. But the benefit of our engine now is that we simply can ask any developer who want to join us, or we can even say per setup and per integration fee. So developers, contact us if you have if you want to do that. We are very happy to get new partners onboarded, and we are also happy to give you some rates for new integrations if you bring them up, and we don't need to do them. Hey, happy to pay for you for that. So just reach out.
We have a question for Mark. Can a non-coder use this integration feature? I would say no at this point. Possibly in a couple of months when we make it more simpler, but I don't know if this is the idea with it. But anyhow, we're going to give you most of the integrations you need, so you probably won't need to use it. But for a non-coder, it can be complicated.
It is not impossible though. I even did one of those integrations myself. And I am no coder. This is very important to know, but I have very strong and long experience in this e-commerce world, and I can of course read a bit of code. I know when I need to open a code string and close it, and I can understand what it says. But I'm definitely no coder. I didn't learn this, and I was able to do it. But it's not your job to do this. So if you're a basic end user, just keep on posting which integrations you need. We are very, very fast now in integrating, and your integration is not as long, not long anymore in the pipeline. We will do it if it's API based or webhook based, and we give you examples for that. So and as you know, there's always a possibility if you need a specific integration that is very low below the list, you can hire us, the dedicated team for the individual integrations, that we build it at a small rate for you personally if there is something special you need. This is a dedicated team that is only doing something like that.
Okay, moving to another question. Good answers. Okay, did you read about today's judgment, Privacy Shield? Maybe you can briefly tell something about SynSpider and privacy policy. So what I can tell you on this, that we have just updated our policy literally a couple of days before. Our lawyer just went through everything again because we needed some consent with Google, because we are adding some of their APIs. I'm not too technical on this, but we have updated it, and I can tell you it's good. It's European, it's GDPR compliant, so all should be good there.
We are from Austria, which means we are within the European Union, and we have the strongest rules, I think, in the world. So yes, everything is GDPR compliant. Everything is in Europe.
But perhaps, Avchim, you can send me on DM or somewhere to read about this Privacy Shield. I haven't heard of it. Thank you. Do you have a list of the 200? Yes, we do have that list. Basically, you have all the things you have asked on Feedbear. There is like 350 different integrations. So we are going one by one from the most top voted ones on the bottom. Some of them we cannot integrate right now, but we'll be able to integrate them in a week or two. So that's why we're skipping them. We're trying just to provide as many as we can now while we are still working on this new module. Moving next. From Alberto, the input for webhooks needs to be in JSON or form format. This is, it can be in both formats. I already answered this. Do they need to be in get or post method? I think this is for webhooks. So webhook can only work as a source. If you want to send something, you'll need to use external API or API itself.
But we also have this already on our roadmap, as far as I know, to allow even to send webhooks.
I don't know why it's taking too long, but with this overload, I'm not sure we're going to finish this during this month or the next one.
Oh, not this month, I think.
Okay, thank you. A lot of praises. A suggestion for the filtering mode to consider adding two-way communication, post value and when we get response for filter. What do you think on that, Norbert?
What?
For the filter module, can we consider adding two-way communication, post value and when to get response filter?
For filter, we are doing, the filter is now independent. The filter was always for source, but with multi-step tasks, we need it also for the target. So filter will be configurable for source and for target.
What is the best way to get my integration with my critical application, CRME, Casio? So Shopify we already have. We should check for CRME and Casio. Can we do it in this module? CRME and Casio. I'm gonna leave this open. Filter in mapping. Okay. Answered. Constant value is yet another example of specific tech term language we normal people do not understand. We will not be able to figure it out what to do. Okay, thank you for this.
Hendrik, thank you very much for this. I read this before, and this is why I was absent quickly, because I thought already what we could do, and you are right, constant value is a typical tech term. We will rename this one into placeholder.
But not only that, Henrik has right, we need to work on our wording messaging, tutorials.
Yeah. And the terms you said also, Hendrik, the terms that we can't do much about the terms, unfortunately, because the terms come from the source or from the target. If we know the tool, we can work on the terms. So if it's for example an external API template, or in the future a webhook template that we create, we should also, and this is something, Alex, that we need to give to our developers, we should find a way to by default rename terms that we already know. So if we store a template, that we also are able to give them readable names, because source provides us with those labels, and we need to use them, but we can of course put a translation on it if we know them. And thank you very much for the feedback. This is really something very valuable that we will try to introduce.
What is the difference between a task and a trigger task? So basically, every time you create a task, you have one more task, and a trigger task is every time that somebody fills out my form that I just built, our task is going to be triggered. So this is one trigger task because somebody filled up a form, and this task run to send me that data. So I hope this is clear. Will you also do fintech integration, like pushing SEPA direct debit to banks?
Unfortunately, yes. It's very hard stuff. Unfortunately, yes. But we have 2 open requests from one fintech startup that is a bank, and we have 1 integration request from a very established old bank. And we are currently analyzing how we can do that, but it will not be this year anymore, because those banking part needs a lot of time, and they are all at the moment quite overloaded with COVID-19. So especially banks, because they need to fulfill all these our credit needs and so on. So the project was paused in March from the bank because of COVID, and they announced that they will continue with us in early next year. So yes, there will be something, but don't expect it too fast.
ATA for new interface. So we were hoping to have it last month. We were hoping to have it this month, but we just didn't like the results. And once we have it, we are going to let you know.
Yeah.
We just need to simplify it. We obviously perhaps even need another fresh pair of eyes, or even we'll let you know. Then thank you for updating Gretchen. Thank you for updating API tool to connect to Plutio version 1.7, guys. Very impressed that you've done it in less than a week. Thank you, Gretchen. Please, could you have tasks included in the Plutio app soon, instead of using custom API, or at least have a document or walkthrough for this? Okay, sure, we'll do so. This will also be a task for John. Thank you, Gretchen. Do you have questions? We have so many questions. Can we pick from more than one source? No, at this point, you can only have one source and multiple targets.
And this is one of the things you can do in future with the thing that I did not tell you about, the leak.
Yeah.
One leak is okay, okay? So it's planned, yeah.
Alexander says, is this just a first part of the webinar? Yes, we need more time in UI UX. But I already answered in UI UX, told you honestly what it's all about.
Alex,
we'll
as I told you in the webinar, expect the next one in 3 weeks or something like that, and we do another one. So yes, we will go and do the webinars for you.
Then we can talk again. What is the best way to get, okay, this is what I left, sorry. Okay, the ones you can build yourself. So the ones, okay, the question here is from Henrik. Those new integrations will build, will they be only private or public? So basically you can select and choose, are they going to be public or live? So whenever you create an integration, you can just make it public. Then we authorize that it's public. Once we do that and we make it public, you cannot change it anymore because we have checked it. And if you change something and somebody expect it to work in a way and we are standing behind it, then you cannot change it. But you can have a private one and change it as much as you want. So yes, you can have both public and private.
Our integrations that we build, of course, and that we hire people for building integrations, all of them gonna be, of course, public.
Okay, here we have a question or a task from Ricards. He wants to use StriveChart, Teachable, Active Campaign in Slack. Richard, I just don't have time now to show you, and so I'm gonna also copy this as a task that we publish on Facebook group for you. Okay, we still have a couple of more questions left. I also
answer Mark's question, the more critical applications of CRM, Me and Cashew and Shopify.
Sorry, I didn't follow. I was reading something.
What is the best way to get integrations with my critical application of CRM, Cashew, and Shopify?
Yes.
Alex, I think you reach out directly to Mark, right?
Yes, I said I deliberately left those open so that we can answer them later. So there, we also have some questions on Facebook, and we also have some questions on our feedback. So let me first answer those questions on questions for webinar. Google Cloud Storage. And a question, are we going to do it? Now we have integrated with Drive, but Google Cloud was not planned and we haven't done it yet. It needs more quotes and perhaps a use case. Why would you especially need cloud storage, not just Drive?
Yeah.
Integrate using webhooks. I think we showed this. Mail parser, sorry. So we have created, we still don't have mail parser. And do you have any ETA what we can say about this, Norbert? How important this is?
Yeah, but it's an important feature. I fully agree, and we had a lot of also from the e-commerce world, especially when it comes to B2B. It's often that an order is placed via an XML file from an ERP software. So email parser would definitely be a very cool feature, but we are not yet there to make that. So please give us a bit of time. It's definitely coming because we need it, especially in the B2B world. And maybe we can do it end of this year, but at least early next year.
Okay. Now, question from Achim: How to monitor a Google Drive folder or new files and upload them to other services? Now, I know that we were developing this for the client, and it should be developed, but what are we waiting now? I don't know how to explain this to Achim. Do you have a...
Google needs to approve something for that it's really working. We gave everything to Google what they needed now, and we're just waiting for the approval. And as soon as this is ready to monitor the files, Alex, please be so kind, shoot a quick tutorial and send it over to the group.
Okay. How to, we will do so for sure. How to create my own integration, connect apps two-way with external API module. Okay. So to do this, as we said, we are going to ask for you just to sign something additional, and we are going to give you video tutorials. So you will get this. And you can get this probably next week already. So another question. Regarding UX, UI, we are going to talk about this again in a couple of weeks. Nothing new to share now. Now,
meanwhile, Alberto asked, he's trying to set up a webhook from Fluent Forms and has some problems with that. Alex, maybe you can reach out to Alberto after the meeting and set up this together with him, or ask Vladimir to reach out to Alberto. Alberto, please kindly go to the app and add to the chat that you want to set up the webhook now, and that Vladimir or Alex go in the chat with you. Please be a bit patient after the webinar. We have a lot to do, but we will do that together.
Okay, yes. I don't know, the best way to reach out is in the group or directly on, just ping me on DM on Facebook. Yes, Sid is asking when, basically he is asking when we'll be able to send via webhook, as Norbert said previously. Okay, I think that we have most of the questions covered now.
Yeah, just Sid for ask because of Roots in Facebook. So Roots is something that is actually already doable via different tasks. It's not a comfortable way. So I'm sorry that to tell you that it's not comfortable. It's a workaround actually. Roots will be available as soon as we have the filter module available, and which comes together with the root module. And then you can do real roots. For now, it is possible doing 2 or 3 different tasks with specific filters in it. And because of the filters, we will send the data just that is filtered. So you have to set up 2 or 3 tasks. I did this as well for another customer where we filter out for different shipping centers and needed to split orders. It's not comfortable, I'm sorry for that, but it's doable at least. And in the next couple of weeks, when we release the filter and root module, you will be covered also with roots. And I also noticed another question: what makes ThinkSpider different from Zapier or Pabbly Connect? Well, both tools are great. Please don't expect from me that I will give any negatives about any other tool. There are no negatives. Every developer is giving UG4 to make a great tool, and also Public Connect did a great job, and Zapier, oh my God, those are the heroes in my world. So to be very honest, we are all synchronization tools, and we make just a different way of synchronization, and we make a deeper way and bring more or other features that are needed in other targeting. The simple way of sending data from A to B, like a contact or something, this is something that everybody can do, that you can do with SyncSpider, that you can do with Pabli, that you can do with Zapier. What you can't do with them, with none of them, is, for instance, to load a full load of data from system A to B, migrate data at full. You cannot have a Windows application to connect the database. You have no file storage, because we have also file storage that we bring for every user, where you can upload the files that you need to transfer, like sending images to a store, processing orders to a CSV file, stored in your local Windows folder. There are so many things, or this external API thing is not available elsewhere. So we are different. We are really different, but we are more techy. Yeah, we are for sure more techy.
I think that we need to easily start to wrap this up, guys. I still another question from Jarek. Can you, with external API, create client and then at the same time apply tag to this new created contact? There are 2 posts I see in Infusoft.
Yeah, this is something, Jarek, where Alex, please bring Jarek and Vladimir in touch. This is really very techy, nothing for the group now. But
yes.
yeah, it's maybe something that we also need to improve the tool. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us stop here. I think we covered everyone's question. I'm sorry if it's not covered. We have overseen something. Please kindly just send us a quick message. We will answer your question. Everything is relevant for the group. Please expect that we post video tutorials, knowledge base entries, and I want to post every day, Alex, every day the new tools that we integrated, or every 2 days. Maybe they will be a day that we don't integrate anything because we need to work together on something. But 200 integrations until the end of September.
This
Rocket,
is the goal,
man. Yeah.
And listen, guys. One thing I wanted to ask you after this webinar, you're gonna get one survey from me, and it will really help us out to understand your desires and need, and more importantly, how to better the SyncSpider. So if you grab a time, perhaps just open it and leave it for later and fill it up when you can. Sorry, Norbert. Just I didn't want to leave.
Cool. No. Everything cool. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend ahead, guys. And let's talk soon.
Yes. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.